Hi, babies. Welcome to the Demigodest YouTube channel. If you are new, please make sure you subscribe so you never miss a video from me, as I do drop multiple times a week for you guys. Okay, we are going to go ahead and get into the Marvels movie. Okay, I saw this movie Monday. Um, I was kind of on the fence on it, if I'm being real, like 100% real with y'all. Hold on, just one second. Um, I was on the fence. I was on the fence about this movie when I was seeing the trailers and the trailers, just the advertisement for it. I was like, man, I don't know, it just wasn't speaking to me, but I am a huge Marvel fan, so FYI, I am going to be giving you like a I don't like this slide. I think that's better. Okay. I am going to be giving you a review coming from a Marvel fan standpoint. So, I think it will classify me as like being like more critical than someone that isn't. If we're being honest about it. Okay, so one thing I want to do is I do want to share with you guys the trailer and everything that I'm going to be showing you guys. Please make sure you look in the description box because I always put the sources. If I ever forget any sources, please let me know and I will gladly update the description. But I am going to share my screen with you guys, and then I might not share the whole trailer with you, but I will. Hold on. Just want to make sure the audio is working. Are you working? Testing one, two. Okay, it is. All right, cool. All right, so I am going to be sharing my screen. Okay. So this is the Marvel website. This is the final trailer. So,
Heroes. It's an old-fashioned notion, but the world can still use them.
Ready.
Whatever it takes. Whatever it takes.
We destroyed Thanos. But it's not over.
My work is inevitable. There will always be more to finish it.
This is just the beginning. She tore a hole in space. There's a different reality leading into ours.
What are you prepared to do?
I'm invincible. Your powers only make me stronger.
She can't be matched. Can't be controlled. I'm asking for one last fight.
all right, guys. So that is enough. I am going to show you guys. If you want to look at more, feel free to look at it your own self. We gonna play it safe over here in these YouTube streets. Okay. Anyway, so that's the trailer. How did you guys feel about the trailer? I feel like they pretty much showed like the major impact uh scenes in the movie in the trailer. Like it pretty much sums up the movie in the trailer, if I'm being honest with you guys. Going to how I was feeling like before I even watched the movie, I felt a little iffy about it. I don't know, it just seemed like it was off. It has nothing to do with the fact that it's women leading. I think that's awesome. I think it's amazing how we're getting more and more, strong female lead movies. But at this, I don't know, it just felt weird. And it has nothing to do with just the Marvels. I just feel like the Marvel franchise, it's really unsteady right now. I just feel like the last couple of Marvel movies that they have released, and even DC movies, they have been very shaky for me. It's been like a hit or miss. I don't know if they are using AI writers. I don't know what's going on, but something is going on. And if we're being all the way real, then honestly, I felt like Marvel really started being shaky once Stan Lee passed away. I feel like a lot of decisions and moves that were made probably wouldn't have been made, or even in the manner that they were made. So that's just my personal opinion, just based off of how Stan Lee was moving and handling business. Now, I didn't look too much in detail on who is actually making like the final decisions for Marvel and things like that. I don't know if his family is involved or anything, honoring his wishes. So I don't know what's going on with that. Maybe that'll be another video I just do talk about Marvel in general. But the Marvels is not looking too good in the box office. This is like the lowest Marvel movie it has ever been. But if we're being realistic, most movies nowadays is flopping. Most music right now is flopping. So we got to be realistic. We can't just bash this movie. You know what I'm saying? Like overall, the film industry, the entertainment industry, a lot of things that once were multi-million, sometimes billion dollar things, projects are not making that or not really being profitable. And we really need to look at, what is impacting that. We know we had the strike, right, in Hollywood. Was it the SAG strike? Yeah, we had that going on. Um, you know, the mistreatment of actors, actresses, writers, people just in the film industry, the little guys, right, that makes these things. It just seems like the executives and like the sponsors just want to take all the money and they don't want to share, to, everybody that helps build their big franchises and stuff, or their big corporations. So there's so many layers to this, but I honestly, if I'm being 100% honest with you, if you're on the fence on watching it, I would just say, even if you're a Marvel fan and you're not a Marvel fan, just go ahead and watch it. Don't just take someone's opinion. Don't be that type of person ever. I don't ever want you guys to ever feel like, "Oh, I'm going to just do this because, Jennifer said this or whatever." No, I want you to make your decisions on anything that I review based on how you truly feel. Yeah, maybe my opinions or whatever, maybe you want to see if they're valid or not, but just go ahead and see it for yourself. Um, I personally feel as if, um, when I watched it, I'm not going to say it's a good movie. I'm not going to say it's a bad movie. I'm not going to say that. It literally was just, it was, it's right in the middle for me. It's right in the middle for me. And, I'm sorry, I'm like hearing weird noises. It's right in the middle for me. But being a Marvel fan, if I'm being honest though, this is not the best work that I've seen. And there were parts in the movie I hate. Now, this was some negative points for me. I hate when movies have singing in it. There is a part in here where they're singing in here. People that watch Marvel is literally big adult kids, and obviously kids as well. But let's be real, the Marvel fans is really grown adults, if we're being honest. Like the core base of it is really like millennials. Maybe you might have some baby boomers in there too, if you want to throw in the comics, because baby boomers were looking at comics and things like that and watching, some movies here and there. And then, you got the Generation Zs and blah, 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 whatever. So it really is like a adult fan base. This is just my opinion. If it's not, y'all can check me. But I just feel, just watch the movie yourself. I didn't like that they were singing in there. I felt like the storyline, the writing could have been better. Um, the actors actually did a really good job based off of the stuff that, like their, what do you call it? Their script, they had to produce, they have to execute. I felt like everybody produced it well. they needed to really explain. I wish they really explained more why the villain, right? Let me go to the cast cuz I don't. How come they don't have? Okay. I'm trying to look this up for you guys before I. Okay, characters. Okay, I'm gonna have to get off the Marvel website because I don't know why it's not even showing all of the information. Here we go. I like the IBM DD. Okay, I am going to share my screen with you guys so you guys can follow along with me because if you're a visual person, then that will matter for you. Okay. All right. I'm going to go here. So it's categorized as an action, adventure, and fantasy movie, and it's directed by Nia DaCosta, which shout out to her because this is an African American director, and I love the fact that it is. I just hate the fact that this movie just, I'm on the fence about it, to be honest. Which we're gonna get into later about the director and how I feel about it. So the cast, where is the villain? They always look so different when you see them outside of their characters. That's not her, is it? Oh, it is. Okay. Zaw Aston. What was her name in the movie? Wow, that's a pretty picture she's using. Dar? Okay, so she's Dar Ben in the movie or whatever. I wish that they would have explained her story and why she was destroying, different parts of different planets to I don't want to tell you guys the storyline, but anyways, why she was destroying different planets sooner. I feel like that would have helped a lot and they could have built off of it. They could have removed that fucking sing out of it. That was just a mess. And then this situation right here, they could have also built off of Monica and Carol's relationship because their relationship was strained. Okay. It was really strained. Amin was really good too. Okay. She was really good. All three of them had to merge their powers together. But I'm not gonna lie, there were some parts I felt like was really corny. Like the jokes didn't land for me too, because it kind of, in my opinion, they try to make like some kind of like comedic standpoint as well in here, and I just didn't. It just wasn't landing for me. If we're being 100% honest here. So on the website, it's saying a 6.1 out of 10. Okay. Um, I am going to. Oh, they got two nominations. Okay, writers was Nia DaCosta, Megan McDowell, Alyssa Corsote. Okay. Production office and more. Let's see. I don't want to see this. Can I not? Are you not going to give me the information? It's not going to give me the information. I'm sorry, guys, for that. But anyways, I have another thing up I could show you. Okay. I did want to see some reviews. So I'll read the storyline for you guys. So Carol Danvers, aka Captain Marvel, has reclaimed her identity from the Trinical Kree and taken revenge on the Supreme Intelligence, but unintended consequences see Carol shouldering the burden of a destabilized universe when her duties send her to an anonymous war home leaked wormhole linked to a Kree revolutionary. Her powers become entangled with that of Jersey City superfan Kamala Khan, aka Miss Marvel, and Carol's estranged niece, now Sabir astronaut Captain Monica Rambo. Okay. Oh, their taglines: higher, further, faster together. Huh. All right. So let's read some of the comments here. 4 out of 10. At least it wasn't 3 hours long. Carol Danvers is attempting to save the universe, but her incredible powers become entangled with those of Kamala. They must unite to save the world. Ouch. What can you say? This is surely one of Marvel's lowest points. I honestly don't know who the target audience is or who this is going to appeal to. Young teens only, maybe. Anyhow, this was an absolute mess. The writing was clearly problematic. It doesn't gel. It is genuinely all over the place. I do very much wonder if huge sections of this film were cut. It can be the only answer. It just doesn't flow at all, and that's the short runtime. Ooh, this person, Sleeping Dragon, whatever. I agree with you. I totally agree with you. Now, I don't know about a 4 out of 10. I definitely would give it a 6 out of 10 if I was gonna rate it, because we cannot discredit the fact, the actors really did do a good job based off of what the script was, if I'm being honest here. But I definitely, now that you think about it, you raise a good point about how huge sections of the film could have been cut. You know what? When I play it back in my head, I could see why you would say that. Because to me, there were parts in the movie where I'm just like, this doesn't make any type of sense whatsoever. Um, let's read this too. Oh, 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 they were in their feelings. Okay, we're not gonna read this. We're not gonna read that. Okay. Is this one long too? Okay, they agree with what I said, so I'm gonna read this. It's sad seeing the MCU come to whatever the hell this movie was. The MCU has absolutely overstayed its welcome. Post Avengers Endgame, these projects have been feeling more and more like content that than cinema, except the rare surprises like G whatever that is. Superhero fatigue, they call it, in this movie does practically nothing but amp it to 11. You watch the trailer, you know what happens. I said this earlier to you guys. You bet on originality, you end up homeless. There's nothing new for me to say that I haven't already said about any of the other MCU content as of late. It's so generic and Wait, it's so generic that I'm confident a year from now, no one will remember this movie even existed. With every new MCU project, the jokes per minute ratio keeps getting worse. The villains are a writer's version of a stock photograph. I can't even remember the villain's name in this movie, and it hasn't even been a day since I watched it. If we're being honest, if I didn't even look up these characters, I wouldn't even remember. If I'm being honest, the only person that I did remember was Monica, okay, which is the captain's goddaughter. Okay, that's the only person, if I'm being real. Okay. um it's so generic that okay. Where did I leave? And I didn't remember. I can't even. Hold on. The CGI is so out there. You can almost see the CGI artist hears on screen, and it's getting more and more difficult to tell each MCU project apart, cuz they're all just the same. The only few positive I could identify here are actresses Iman and Brie, who seems more relaxed and settled into the superhero boots and maybe the flashy action sequences. Otherwise, there's nothing here to watch, nothing here to experience, and nothing here to enjoy. What a shame. I'm gonna add there was very beautiful scenes in here. It was very beautiful scenes in here. I want to see if there's a higher rating because yikes. The messiest MCU movie ever made. I didn't expect this movie to be great, but I didn't expect it to be this bad. All over the place, the lack of character depth and engaging storyline earns makes this a skip-worthy experience. Who is responsible for MCU Phase 4? A forgettable sequel, spectacular embarrassment. Yikes. Uh, I don't see any good ratings on here. I want to end on a positive note. Okay, here we go. This one's a 7 out of 10. Um okay, we have two. So I do want to read some, I'll read these two and then I won't read any more reviews. Bless me. So it says a fun time in three very likable leads. When it comes to the character of Captain Marvel, the fan base has always seemed to be so negative. I personally have enjoyed Brie portrayal of the character and enjoyed the first film for the most part. Hearing that her story was shifting to include two other Marvel heroes as co-leads had me raising an eyebrow, but I'm always open to things changing. My biggest concern about the Marvels before seeing it was the fact that two series of Disney Plus seemed to be a prerequisite first. I've been following the entire franchise from start to finish, including the shows, and I really like the character of Miss Marvel, so I found myself excited. I can see how viewers who haven't followed the shows would be turned off, though, which is a real problem this franchise is facing at the moment. Let's dive deeper, but also review this film on its own, which I did have a good time with. You know what? Now that I think about it, is Miss Marvel has her own show on Disney Plus. I'm gonna have to check this out. I'm probably gonna have to do a part two to this. Let me drop notes on here because I do remember. Now that I think about it, I do remember. Hold on. I do remember some kind of show. Maybe I tried watching it and it just wasn't good to me. I don't know. But what they're talking about, that's a good point. So I'll check that out and I'll follow up with you guys. Okay, now this one it says a freaking good time. Okay. Trios work together due to a glorious comic book. Convenience. The chemistry is great, and Amin is bubbling with infectious enthusiasm. Both of the other two film is handled and don't deliver performances as strong as we know they are able to. The action scenes feels largely inserted rather than organic, though some do get creative and fun, such as the use of body swapping. The comedy is not as funny. I said that to you guys earlier. It was not funny as that of the two Disney Plus shows it follows up on. Not for a long shot. The cinematography and editing have some inspired moments, especially a few is it monologues or my takes? One of which made me laugh harder that I have in a very long time and is otherwise mirrored in the restrictive house style. This is a great feminist piece, though it's not up to be the standard of Birds and Prey film or one of the bomb doc in 2003's Monster. It's very clear that this movie, three writers, all of them women, made sure to work in as many stereotypical female things as they could. And a lot of the best moments are when this really leans into it. I want to live on the planet and where everyone sings instead of talks. There's kittens, double dutch, girls teasing each other about the boyfriend of one of them. I know some men won't like this, though to be clear, not everyone who's going to hate this is a misogynistic, but seriously, fellows, we can support the girls getting some representation, especially when it's a good time. When the first Captain Marvel solo pick was very much a typical Western, the part of the world and the fiction genre, power fantasy of an individual supporting each other, reflecting younger generations move away from individualism towards found family and looking out for one another. I recommend this to every fan of the MCU. Note that this could be the first one you can watch. Interesting. That's very, very, very interesting. Okay, I'm not going to show you guys this more. I'm actually going to go on another website. Okay. So Marvel flunders at the box office with the Marvels. The Marvels cost about 300 million to make and market and arrived to 47 million in domestic sales. That is bad. Now, of course, this was opening weekend, so it should be more than this by now. So this was written November 12th. This was Sunday. For 15 years, Marvel delivered one hit movie after another, 32 in all. Oh, wow. So I am going to read this. 32 in all, with Guardian of the Galaxy's Volume 3 was collected 846 million in May, the most recent. Sure, there were wobbles. Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania arrived to 106 million in February and collected 476 million by the end of its runs. Even Marvel lesser blockbusters, however, were still blockbusters. But the boutique studios stumbled badly over the weekend with The Marvels, a sequel costing roughly 300 million to make and market, that arrived to 47 million in ticket sales in the United States and Canada, the lowest ever for a Marvel release. This opening is an unprecedented Marvel box office collapse, said David A. Gross, a film consultant who publishes a newsletter on ticket sales. Until now, The Incredible Hulk, released in 2008, was the studio's worst debut, a 79 million in the United States and Canada after adjusting for inflation. The Marvels is a sequel to Captain Marvel, which generated 153 million in opening weekend ticket sales at domestic theaters in 2019. The Marvels, about a trio of superheroes whose powers become entangled, took an additional 63.3 million overseas. Okay, so they added that. Um Brie played the lead roles with Miss Paris and Vellani, reprising characters that originated on Disney Plus series The Marvels. Okay. Definitely gonna have to watch that because I did not watch that. Ooh, Disney's executive vice president acknowledged that the results were disappointing given Marvel's unparalleled battling average. There may have been a barrier to entry, with some people assuming they needed to have already watched the Disney Plus shows in order to know what was going on in the film, he said. No one in Hollywood expected the Marvels to do as well as Captain Marvel, which came out in two mega hits, Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame. But Disney earlier in the fall had hoped the Marvels would arrive to at least 70 million in domestic sales, a passable result. Okay, so they didn't have high hopes for this film anyway. So why even produce this film if you didn't even have high hopes for it? To a degree, the Marvels was hurt by the actor strike, which prevented Miss Larson and her co-stars from participating in promotional events at least until Wednesday. So they should have pushed it back. Like, I don't know how the film industry, and by the way, this is all from the New York Times. I don't know how the film industry works, but you should have pushed it back. Just like if we're going to talk about like in COVID, like most movies that they could push back, they push back. The ones that they absolutely couldn't push back, they released in theaters and then they released them on streaming services, like for example, Black Widow, right? It was in the movie for a little bit, but then at one point you were able to go to the movie theaters provided that they use COVID-19 prevention and precautions, right? But then depending on where you were, they shut it down. I was in California at the time and they shut it completely down. We had to stop doing it. And I have a movie theater pass, so they had to pause our passes and stuff like that so we didn't get charged. And it was a mess. So, and then like for Black Widow, they streamed it on Disney Plus and you have to pay for it. And I'm not sure if it was on other streaming sites, but I definitely saw it on Disney Plus. And I know it was a big thing with Scarlett Johansson about getting her money, her coins, because they were trying to even play her during that time and she had to sue them. Um, It said there could be a superhero fatigue, almost probably played a role. Audience have started to become particular about their spectaculars with duds like Blue Beetle and Shazam, Fury of the Gods, both from DC Studios as recent evidence. I thought Blue Beetle was really good. I like that movie, and I like Shazam too. I was kind of on the fence with Shazam, like looking at the trailers, but I like those movies. And Fury of the Gods. Hmm. Ooh, The Marvels is the third superhero sequel featuring female characters to flop. The other two are Wonder Woman 1984. If we're being real, I was so disappointed with Wonder Woman 1984. It absolutely sucked. How did you guys come up with Wonder Woman? That first movie was amazing. I don't even understand the writing on this movie. I was really disappointed, and it's not like the main character cannot act her ass off. It just, to me, in my opinion, it really went on to like writing. Who are the say so's? They should have scrapped that shit from the beginning. um which was hurt by the pandemic. No, it wasn't hurt by, yeah, maybe that played a part, but Wonder Woman sucked. And Birds of Prey starring Margaret Robbie as Harley Quinn. Birds of Prey didn't do good. I like anything with Margaret Robbie. She actually is a good Harley Quinn. Like, I didn't know it didn't do good. I thought it did good. Um okay. If you guys want to read this whole article, you can. It's in my description. Now I am going to go to the Variety. It looks like they have more information. The Marvels, which whiffed at the box office 63 million internationally. Okay, they have a higher number globally, and 100 to 110 million globally. Those figures are far behind expectations headed into the weekend. Disney hoped for 100 million or more, and even that wouldn't have been great for the 220 million budget tent pole. Honestly, I don't even understand how these movies be costing this much money to make. That's why, my argument, guys, look at Bicentennial Man. I talk about, the use of technology and how honestly I feel like it makes writers lazy. I feel like it makes production lazy. It just makes the studios more lazy. And to me, for these movies that was made in the 1990s and before, they had less to work with, and it just, their creativity was out of this roof. um it just doesn't make sense for me. You have all this technology and the movie still sucks, and I know it's different things, anyways, these articles definitely have mentioned, I'm going to start sharing the screen. These articles have definitely mentioned like several things in here, um wow, for the studios to not, they wanted them to score at least 70 million. You already didn't have high hopes. So to me, if I was executive, why would I even be producing this movie? And sometimes it really has to do with timing. Why would you even release this movie right now? Women in general have been put in a position where they women rights, were taken away. Slowly, if we're thinking about it, if we're looking at it politically, and no, I'm not for this, I'm definitely a feminist, but you got to look at things on a deeper scale. There's been a lot of attacks on like women rights and women things like that. I just don't feel like, and like the Me Too movement has turned into like some weird crazy thing, has like taken over it. It used to really just be about, just equal rights with women, but then, there's been some stories about women lying, and because it kind of tainted the movement. And then like with all the political setbacks we have made, as a nation, it just hasn't been really good. I just feel like it's bad timing for this movie to be released. I feel like it was bad writing, to be honest, like those reviews that I've read for you guys. And then honestly, I feel like the people that went in corporate, honestly, this shouldn't have been, yes, you should have a part two to the Captain movie. But at the end of the day, I just don't feel like this should have been the movie. And if we're being real, three women right now coming together is awesome. It's amazing. They deserve it. We deserve it as women, right? But again, you got to read the room. I tell people all the time, you got to read the room you're in and read the temperature, like internationally, read the temperature like within your nation, things like that. I just feel like this was just really poor timing. And the executives up top, if you already have low expectations for this movie, you shouldn't even put that. First of all, why would you put that much money into it if you already have low expectations for them? You wanted them to come in around the same ballpark as the Hulk, which started off what, 79 million it said. So, and you guys were projecting for them to at least make 70 million. And that was like one of the articles allegedly. So it's, to me, it just seemed like it's a whole bunch of craziness going on, a whole bunch of poor decisions on everyone's part, to be honest. Um, that's how I feel about it. I feel like the production overall, I felt like it was good. Um, Too much CGI, if you ask me. Too much CGI, if you ask me. I, again, as one of the reviewers said, they couldn't even remember the villain's name. I don't even remember the villain's name. And I feel like it should have been more focused on the writing could have been more focused on the dynamics between Monica and Captain, right? Those dynamics and how it was entangled and estranged, right? Estranged, strained, let's just say strained. I cannot talk today, and clearly I can't read today either. So they could have focused more on that. They really should have focused more on the backstory on why the villain wanted to take these resources from these various planets. Like, they could have focused more on that, the backstory of it. Like, you literally get, it's towards the end of the movie you find out why she was doing all of this in the first place. And I thought that was really crazy to me. Um, so like they missed the ballpark on a lot of things, and then that whole singing thing. If you're into singing, that's fine, but I just feel like it was inappropriate for a Marvel movie. Like, Marvel movies don't really be having singing in it. If we want to hear a sing along, we're gonna watch like a Pixar movie or a Disney movie, a little kid Disney movie. I just don't understand why they were singing in here. This is not the time or the place for it. I didn't understand that. And as one of the reviewers said, I didn't understand the targeted audience that they had. But if we're being real, the captain, she's not really a very popular character. I honestly, if I was Marvel and Disney, right, I wouldn't make any more movies for her. And I know that's bad to say, but I wouldn't make any more movies with her. I would make, if I was to make another movie, I would bring a strong male lead, and I would include smaller scenes for the other two ladies, right? But I would focus more on, if I wanted to keep the character alive, I would focus more on TV series for her. Who I think they really should make a movie out of, and they need to stop making a series, which I'm going to do a reaction on, is Loki. I feel like Loki has a strong enough fan base to be a blockbuster. They need to do that. One of the things that just sparked my head on what I really wanted to talk about. I would have been upset if I would have ended this live and didn't talk to you guys about this. Is um I feel like Marvel and DC needs to lay back on their superhero movies. Okay, lay back off of it. Don't give us one. Focus on your TV series. Focus on your TV series, because it seems like it's better writing there. It's better writers. It's more quality. Just focus on that, and maybe it's cheaper. Focus on the series. Leave us alone with the movies for a while. Leave us alone. Especially some of our main characters, they getting old already. I was just looking at Robert Downer Jr. the other day, and I was like, God damn, this nigga long. I don't know. He's aging. So just lay off the movies for a while. I would say maybe if y'all really could lay off the movies for a good 5 years. If you're so itching to make another movie, I would say 3 years. Now, what movie, if you are going to make a movie, I feel like Marvel, if you're listening to me, one movie you should make on, and I feel like it will kind of jumpstart, just like if you guys don't know, Mr. Stan Lee. Okay, this is a fun fact for my people that are real Marvel fans. So Marvel was essentially almost bankrupt, and Wesley Snipes bought the Marvel and the franchise back. Okay, don't believe me? Look it up. And the Blade series generated the money, jump started the whole thing. Stan Lee was able, to purchase characters back, you know, uh, get back on his throne, his rightful throne, on dominating the movie industry and things like that. So, but that's the movie I feel like they should do if they are going to do movies, release movies. They need to go ahead and drop the Blade series. Don't give us no more superheroes for a while. Leave us alone for the superheroes. If you absolutely cannot, 3 years. If you absolutely can wait to drop movies, it should be the next 5 years. Give us a chance to miss the Marvel universe. Give us a chance to miss the DC universe. Stop giving us stuff. Focus on like your scripted TV shows, and give us the Blade series in the meantime to kind of fill here and there. If you're feeling lucky, maybe another Batman movie. Lord knows y'all love Batman movies. And just leave us alone. Leave us alone. Let society chill out for a while. I feel like we're kind of burnt out with all the superheroes. They should really take heed on the Star Wars series, right? They're not making no more Star Wars movies for a minute. Okay, they're focusing on their TV series, which honestly, their best one, if we're being real, the ones that have released is The Mandalorian. I love The Mandalorian, and don't kill me, guys. I'm a Star Wars fan too, but I'm going to say her freaking name right. Is it Osaka? Osuki? I don't know what it is. That last one that was released, that one was good too. Um, it just was given very low budget on some of the scenes, but yeah. But this is my review. I hope you guys like it. Make sure you comment below. Let me know how you feel about the movie. If you've seen it, if you didn't see it, did this make you want to see it? Did this make you not want to see it? I want to know how you feel about it. But overall, I will rate the movie a 6 out of 10. Acting, I will give them a 10 out of 10 because the actors can only act based off of their script. Now, the writing, I'm gonna give the writing a 4 out of 10. That's just my opinion. So and this is coming from a Marvel fan. So even if you're not a Marvel fan, I suggest you watch it. I am going to watch though. They said they have series on Disney Plus, and I have Disney Plus. So I am going to watch Miss Marvel, and then I'm going to see if I could correlate these. Ooh, just drop my pen. If I could correlate all this, and then maybe I'll give you guys like a little synapse. I'll give a video. I'm not going to go live about it, to see like if it makes me change my opinion, or maybe I get more insight on the movie and things like that. But yeah, go and watch the movie, child. Even if you're a Marvel fan, you still should support Marvel Studios. Period. You should. That's the rightful thing to do. But see you guys soon. I love you.